Here with one deal away, and I did something rather unusual this morning. My computer was having a hard time starting up, so while it was doing its own thing to clean up and upstart and get it all up and ready, I decided I was going to start geeking out and doing a little bit of a research. I don't typically do that first thing in the morning, but that's what happened. Anyways, I was very much interested. My phone was blowing up yesterday about cryptocurrencies just going up 10%, 15%. It was really crazy. So I was curious enough to spend some time this morning to say, let me find out what's happening. Why is this going on? What's going on in the market? And kind of where are we in a cycle? I haven't looked at cryptos in a little while. I'll be honest. Why lie? And so I actually ended up doing a lot of research that led me to some really cool conclusions that I want to share with you here right now. So if you are even remotely interested in cryptos, welcome to the show. I want to share with you some of the things that I have learned and some of the things that I have concluded, or conclusion may be too bold of a statement, more of a guessing. A couple of things before we get started. I do want to say that I am invested in cryptos. I am invested in Bitcoin. I'm not trying to do the whole pump and dump or anything like that. Like, I'm just letting you know, and full disclosure, whether you buy or not is likely not going to affect me at all. But this is really all meant to do the educational route. So, whether you are thinking, should you or should you not do it, please don't take this particular video as an advice. Also, I'm going to be sharing some future potential forecasting and thinking. I want to point out a few things. Number one, I am not an Nostradamus. I have no clue what's going to happen in the future. Number two, my crystal ball broke years ago, so I have no clue what's going to happen. Number three, all of the stuff over here that I'm talking about very rough sort of guessing where I think things are going to go through. All right, fair. For disclosure, so please do not behave just on this particular video in one way or the other. Do your own research, do your own due diligence, find your professional financial advisors that can help you and guide you in your financial decisions, because this particular video is not it. All right, now I think I have covered all of my legal things. So now let's go and start in and jump into actually learning some of the stuff, and so I can share with you things that I'm really excited well, the reason why I'm here. So basically what ends up happening is that in Bitcoin protocol, right, in the programmatic scheme of the whole thing, it is already built in that every so often, as the miners mine, that the amount of things they can mine that will actually come out by the program that it's written is going to be cut in half. And so we've already had a few halvings, and the next one is coming up on May 14th. So that's an important, and that's of this year, 2020. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. This is a large event, and basically the concept is that while, yes, whatever they solve, so miners go out there, they solve all these problems, right? Algorithms, so on, cryptographic math problems, basically. And, what they will get post May 14th is going to be half of what they're getting right now. However, typically over the history, the price would more than double. And I'll share with you some of the historical things that have happened. So it makes way more sense for them. It's kind of like, you can have 3 jobs that pay $10 an hour each, or you can have 1 job that pays $120 an hour. I'll go with 1 job at 120 hours any day of the week, and I think you will too. So halving is happening May 14th. I was actually very curious about it. I knew it was coming in 2020. I just didn't know the exact date. So this is the date that is happening. Now, typically in history, post-halving, price would go up, right? Whenever there's the halving that happens, the price actually ends up going up. Now, the question is how much, how long, and all of those different components that everybody wants to know. Now, I am not promising nor guaranteeing that the price will go up May 14th or later, but I'm just looking at historical stuff of kind of what has happened. Now, from the halving to the peak of the prices, here's the history component, right? So when the first halving has happened, there was already 3 that happened so far, I believe. There should be fourth one, third one, I don't know. Anyways, no, this is the fourth one, yeah. So the first one, from the halving to the peak, it was the price has gone up well over 17,000%. That's like 170x, guys. 100% is, right, like it doubles. So you do the math of how much the price has gone up. When the second halving happened, the price from the halving to, right, from the point where it halved to the peak of the market before it went down, was 9,219%. Last time, it was 2,939%. And I am guessing, it's sort of an educated guess, but I guess anyways, that this time around should be about 588%, which is still pretty freaking amazing. That's like 6x right there. But that's just in that short period of time. Now, what has happened historically is that prior to the halving, the rally starts, and it kind of starts sort of chug. Halving happens, it goes chug, and then it starts turning into almost that parabolic thing that we saw a few years ago. If some of you recall, I want to say it was 2017 December when the price just kind of went chug, and it just turned and it went straight up. What we have seen is something very similar like that happening historically post halving events, and we have seen that the price would kind of go up in insane amounts of money from kind of where it is right now. So we still have a few months before May 14th, because this is January right now, and historically, kind of what based off of some of the things that I was looking at, I was concluding that between now and basically the peak, I am expecting that the price is going to go minimally 16 to 18x from what it is now. This morning, Bitcoin was trading at about $8,700 something dollars. So let's say 8,700. So you do the math of what that would look like if my very brief sort of analysis and kind of running through the math would make sense of kind of what I think would happen. I've also done some analysis of how long from the halving to the peak and what ends up happening. And so, because I'm sort of curious to know, obviously, I think we've hit the bottom quite a few months back, and now we're sort of starting the rally up. And I think this is what we're seeing right now. The price is going to fluctuate. That is very normal. But what I think, right, this is never just thinking, hypothesizing. I have no clue what is going to happen. But what I think is going to happen is the price is going to sort of like fluctuate up and down, but it will eventually kind of start going up. And I do expect the peak to end, based on my analysis, mid to late 2021. So we have good, 18 months at least with this rally that is starting up. And I think it's going to be a really cool and fun ride. So after I have sort of geeked out this morning and spent hours, I've been sort of following up with it, but I haven't spent in-depth analysis as much as I have this morning. And so that really got me pumped up. And so I have set some parameters within my own crypto buying system to actually start and go in and start accumulating. I think the bottom has been beyond verified. I've been accumulating for a little while, but now I'm actually getting into some very serious sort of saying, okay, let me go in and accumulate some more, have some price ranges where I'll absolutely buy, some price range where I'm like, maybe I'll hand out. But, if I am right and it's going to go up 16 to 18x, even at where we are, if my math is right, even 20,000 at that point would be a bargain. Now, I'm not saying buy it at that price. I'm just saying that's kind of where I am sitting with sort of where I am based off of the analysis only. Wanted to do this video because, again, I thought that this was really cool. It got me very excited. The geek inside me, which is still here, I guess, came out, and he had a blast, and really got me excited about saying, you know, I really do need to almost double down on some of my crypto investments and follow things through. Now, I've done this for Bitcoin only. There's a lot of cryptocurrencies that run together. They run parallel with Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin goes up, they go up. Although there are also some coins that run complete opposite. And so that's the kind of cool piece, that if you are within a crypto space and you start buying and selling and you start trading it, it's very cool, because now you can buy almost like protection pieces, so that, right, but if you do it one for one, it sort of negates, so you don't win at all. So you have to pick a lane one way or the other where you think things are going to go. My prediction is that rally has started, rally is going, and rally will continue up until mid to late 2021. So I think it's going to be an exciting year this year and next year for cryptos, really quite a bit. And that's basing it off of that nothing major happens with our fiat currencies, with the governments, with any of this stuff. Just this morning, I was notified that entire Russian government apparently is quitting. So that's a new piece that is also going to have impact on a lot of different things. So there you go. This is kind of a brief moment in time of where I think things are. I have no clue if I'm right. All of these are hypotheses based off of some math, based off of some research, based off of doing things and doing analysis. But I cannot guarantee nor promise that any of this is going to happen at all whatsoever. Only time will tell if this will come to fruition or not. But I am right now running off of this personally in my own personal financial life, and I wanted to share with you in case you were looking just for ideas of where to even start researching and looking at the stuff.